Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a new episode of Words of Wellness. My name is Yassir Al-Manawi. I'm a clinical therapist and I'm going to be your host for today. What do we talk about today? We're going to talk about balance, moderation, our balance in our lives. Moderation is needed in everything we do, every day, on a daily basis. Moderation in our emotions, moderation in our spending, moderation in our work, moderation in everything. I don't mean that you need to be a boring person right in the middle, no deviation here or there. No, I'm not saying that. You can actually be a very attractive female or male in your life. You still have to be moderate in everything that you do. So let's see the hadith, and then we're going to read it, and then we're going to discuss moderation in details. Let's see. From Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, who said that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "Love the one whom you love to a certain degree. Perhaps one day he will be someone for whom you have hatred, and hate the one for whom you have hatred to a certain degree. Perhaps one day he will be one whom you love." What does that mean? Even in my emotions and feelings, I have to be moderate. Remember when we talked before about moderation, I have to know my emotions because it's the gate for knowing myself. That means not only I have to know my emotions, but also I have to control, or I don't want to say control, because you cannot control your emotions in a way that, yes, you're going to open it and you're going to close it, but you have to be moderate. That means you can cut down, you can increase it in your actions, not in your inner emotions, but in your actions. Because usually emotions is tied up to the actions. Emotions first and then actions next. So let's talk about moderation. Balance and moderation. Usually I relate this to the 7 deadly sins. 7 deadly sins meaning that I give in to something, totally give in to something. It consumes my life, it consumes my thoughts, it consumes my actions, and it consumes everything that I do. So how can I be moderate? How can I balance my life? A lot of times, as a human being, we have desires. These desires are easy to fall into, whether it's love for food, which is gluttony, whether it's love for money, which is greed, whether it is lust, whether it's love more than we should for anything that has to do with our humanly desires. It's always not easy or more difficult to become more spiritual. It's always difficult to elevate ourselves from these worldly desires. And if you take a look at it, you're going to find out that if you give in to your desires, you are going, or anybody is going to end up being emotionally unbalanced, is going to be psychologically unbalanced, it's going to be socially unbalanced. Why? Emotionally, psychologically, and socially, it's all connected together, one after the other. One moves the other. So it is layers, and we have to take a look at these layers. I am not saying in moderation that you don't do anything exciting. Somebody might like food very much. So if they sit down and they eat a lot, what's going to happen? They're going to gain weight. They are going not to be able to concentrate. They are going to be lazy, which is sloth. So that's why I connected this to the 7 deadly sins. And we need to be very aware of what we do. Now, not by any means I'm saying that do not love your wife or your children or your work or making money. No. Like all those stuff. Love doing all those stuff. but do it to a certain degree. I'm going to connect this also to the values. Remember, we talked about values before, and I'm going right back, because there is something called values conflict. Let's say if I love my family very much, but I also love my work very much. So what do? I spend 15 hours at work, or 11 or 12 hours at work every day. And I know that my family need me, but I totally disregarded them. I don't spend any time with them. So what happens in there? I have what we call values conflict. What is a value conflict? Value conflict means that I believe in something, and then I don't do it. What do I believe in? I believe in spending time with my family, but I don't do it. Why? Because I have my excuse. I spend all my time at work so I can get the money so we can live a good life and all of that. Put your priorities in order. If your family is important to you, I'm not saying that do not go to work. You need to go to work still, but you need to spend time with your family so you do not end up with a values conflict. Values conflict is going to cause you to be angry. It's going to cause you to be upset. And what you're going to do is that even though you're angry and upset at yourself, you are not going to take it on yourself. You're going to take it on the people who are closest to you. It's going to affect your communications. It's going to make you a different person. And we've seen that many times in family therapy, that they come and they say, wow, we don't know what's going on. What's going on is that people do things that it doesn't agree with them internally. It does not agree with their values. So you need to check your values, and you need to do things moderately. Moderation is pretty much like self-control and exertion. Self-control and exertion, which is one that we call jihad al-nafs, which is the very most difficult thing that anybody could do. Why? Because I feel like I want to do something, I want to do it so bad, but I'm not going to. So I want you to always think of it as if you are on a sailing boat, and you're directing this boat. The winds and the water and the current wants the boat to go this way, but you're holding it so hard and you're making it go your direction. That's what you need to take a look at it. That's how you need to take a look at it. That's the way you need to take a look at your life, as if you are running your life. Don't let your life run you. Run your life, which is very important. So let's see. Now, when we talk about moderation, it means that you still could be exciting. You still could be a very attractive male or female. You still could have a lot of fun. Just do it to a certain degree. Don't go all the way, because you don't want to give in to your desires, totally to your desires. You want to control your life and not let your life control you. And believe me, then you're going to feel a lot of happiness, a lot of happiness. That's why we'll talk about all of these issues. So I'm going to leave you these words. Assalamu alaikum, and we'll see you in a different episode. Masala.